If we think about the greening of economies, I think we all are aligned to the fact that we do need very country-specific mixes of macroeconomic, industrial, sectoral, and labor policies that together create an enabling environment for sustainable enterprises that can prosper and, of course, create decent work opportunities. The question to you, sir, is what smart policy guidance could be considered, especially if we are to meet the goal of creating millions of green jobs by 2030?
Thank you very much, Nozi. And let me try to answer your question by just saying that let's take account of our current circumstances. We are still in the midst, I want to say exiting, but still in the midst of the worst economic and social world of work crisis that we've known in 2 or 3 generations. It's been horribly costly for people's jobs, their security, their livelihoods. And at the same time, we are faced with this extraordinary climate crisis. We're seeing dramatic weather events even as we talk. So I think we have to understand both the scale and the urgency of the question that we're trying to relate to. So here's my answer. I think particularly in the light of the pandemic, what we need now clearly are comprehensive concerted policies which somehow bring together economic and social, environmental, humanitarian and health policy action. Now, we're focusing particularly on the economic and social and the environmental elements here, but we need to look on a big scale and with appropriate width at the types of issues that we have to deal with. If we try to compartmentalize the challenges, we're going to get it wrong. We won't get there. Now, in this regard, I think, and I'm so delighted that I'll be speaking before Inga from UNEP, we've really got to conjugate our efforts in the international community and national policy spaces better than in the past. And in that regard, Paige, as we've all heard, I think is sort of exemplary in this regard. You said in the introduction, economics and science are pushing us in the same direction. It's true. It's true in the aggregate. It's true. We all know this is the case, but people don't live in the aggregate. People live in individual communities. They have jobs. They're worried about their immediate livelihoods. So we now have to work out how, in practical terms, to make the principles land at the national level. And Paige can do this in the ways that we've already heard. There are 3 areas, I think, from a labor market perspective that we need to be looking at in particular. We do need, in the recovery process, to be deliberately investing in the creation of decent work in those areas which hold out promise for job creation in the future. And the green economy is classic in that regard. Not the only thing. I could think of the care economy, could think of other things as well. We need to invest in the skills and also social protection that help people to move from where they are today to where they need to be in a climate neutral economic future. And lastly, I think it's the institutions. We have to involve people. At the ILO, we believe greatly in dialogue, involving the actors, the people affected. They have to have ownership of these issues.